Hello and welcome to Something Different. Something Different is the show that each week I will show off something that isn't usually on the channel, and this definitely fits the bill. This is Can't Drive This by Pixel Maniacs, who you may know from Chromagun that was previously on the channel. Can't Drive This is again another cool concept. Same as Chromagun, is a cool concept, but it feels a little unpolished. But for this one, this is an early access game, and it has a lot of potential. So this game's basically about having a car on one side and having a builder on the other. And then, as you play through it, the car will have certain obstacles in the way, and the builder will have to try, and the builder is the one placing them, and the builder just has to try and place enough tracks so the car can still drive, while trying to minimize how bad the obstacles are. Now, I'm going to have some footage I recorded earlier for my co-op partner in the background here, and it's going to be of our best run through. And you're going to see in it that there were some major problems with what we were doing. There were some major problems with basically the speed that the game offers. Like, you want to go fast. The game, it feels good going fast. The handling isn't really good. Straight line speed is where the cars kind of feel the most fun. However, the game mechanics don't really fit that, because you have to... There's a thing in the bottom left, which you should be able to see, which is, it shows you the danger, it shows you kind of your danger limit, and that's how fast you have to go so you don't explode. That's how the game kind of controls it controls you moving forward. It forces you to move. So this danger little meter is actually not best to be really high up. You just have to be as slow as you can over the meter, which means that when you're driving, you're kind of just moving along. You're just cruising. You're not really doing anything major. You're able to easily go past obstacles, because the obstacles are meant to be difficult when you're going fast, and they're not when you're going slow. And the builder, like, you might be saying, okay, so why would you want to go fast? And there is no one. Like, or why would you want to do this? Like, the score basically for the game. The score for the one that we were playing, anyway, was the furthest forward you could go. So, say that you were facing north. The furthest north you could go. So, not the furthest, like, that you have gone, but the furthest that you go in a straight line. That was your score. So, there was no benefit to going fast. There was no benefit to doing anything quickly. It was just kind of a small cruise. So, the builder, like, to be most optimal, what you had to do is the person playing just sits and they go as slow as possible to give time for the builder to build up. And it's not really very fun for for either side. The concept is fun. That's the thing. The concept of this game is fun, and I think that with a little bit more polish and maybe a little bit tighter controls. Like, if the driving controls were tighter, I would like, when you're driving, you would feel much more confident going fast. You would feel much more confident actually being able to go in a straight line and round corners. That's all you need for the driving section. But right now, if you try and turn even slightly, you will just, like, your car will start to jitter out of control. It will start to fly off the track. It's deliberate, I think, to make the game a little bit harder. I feel like if it had tighter controls there and tighter controls on the builder side, so it was easier to very quickly place blocks, I think this would be a much better game. I think it would be a much more fun game to have the builder having proper tools to be able to build the track in front, and to try and make it a little bit easier for both sides initially, and then give some incentive for going quickly. I think that would be a more fun way to do the game, rather than giving incentive to go furthest, because that gets you into distance driving kind of tactics, where it's more about consistency than about trying to actually win a race. Now, I am going to go back to the menu here and show you in the start that they do have some other kind of modes available. And these other modes aren't, well, they have some other modes that they are going to have available eventually. But right now they're not. The other modes, one of them is available. We have Tile Mania. So this is, you score by going over as many tiles as possible. So each block that you place down, each little section of track is one tile. If you go over them, that can get you more points. Now this is a more interesting mode, because it means that it's more about surviving longer, rather than trying to go in one direction. Although going in one direction is also cool, because it means that the builder has to try and choose pieces that get you to turn into that into the correct direction so you're continuing to gain score. While Tile Mania is just the builder has to place down as many tiles as possible that make a proper track. Levels, not sure what that'll be. Presumably that'll be some sort of thing where you'll have to go through certain points around the map. They already look like they have some of those almost implemented, so like some points around the map to go to, so presumably levels would have something like that going on. Versus is something I am very interested in though. I wonder whether, because to play the game you can't play it solo. You can, well, you could play it solo, but you need another person online. There is no AI person placing the blocks, and there's no way to place the blocks for an AI car. Basically, it's all, you have to play it multiplayer. So Versus seems a bit odd because you already have your two player. You have a builder and you have a car. So is Versus like multiple cars, one builder? Is Versus multiple builders, multiple cars? Is it like the kind of Tetris multiplayers where you have two separate things, and then when you go through other things it'll affect the other person's track, like say if you were to go through a power-up, it would affect the other person's track. That could be kind of cool. And I'm also not entirely sure what Sandbox is going to be. Is this going to be just kind of unscored version of the rest of it? Maybe it's where you don't explode if you don't move. That might be a sandbox thing. Not sure how that would be fun, but there you go. So, this game has some other things that are pretty cool. It has a customization option, so you can actually do some reasonable customization of your vehicle. Now, instead of having the default vehicle that's got all sorts, you can be a streetcar, you can be a bus, you can be a little buggy thing. You can change colors and all that, you can change the patterns, you can change the spoiler, so you can have it saying Darth Vader is Luke's father. If you want to be that kind of spoiler, you can have just normal one, stop sign. I imagine they're going to have more customization options. They seem to have left themselves a lot of room in the lists. That would be my assumption. Although they may not. This may be how far the game goes. It is an early access, so I'm just mostly speculating. And in Street here, it has a whole lot of options. So this is the blocks that you would place down. And you can change colors in this. You can also change the scale if you want the outside to look different. It's kind of alright, but it's a little bit... you don't really notice it as much in-game personally, but it's cool if you want it there. It just seems that there's a lot of effort being put into that when I would prefer a lot more into the actual mechanics of the driving. They do have leaderboards for this, which take a while to load, but you'll see there are people who have gone quite far. I think our top score is 1,600 something, and there's a top score of 23,000, so it's... yeah, it's a fairly, I think once you get into a pattern, you can probably go quite far. Like, once you've got a consistent building and driving pattern, there don't seem to be that many tiles, so presumably after a certain point, you'll just learn them and be able to just, basically come down to communication. I imagine that would take them a very long time to get to 23,000 as well, because it takes a reasonable amount of time when you're going quite slowly. Anyway. Back to the main menu. Had a small crash coming back to the menu, but that's alright. Let's go to the settings. We have a whole bunch of audio options, so that's pretty good. We have a full amount of resolution options, which is also, I think, fairly good. We have full screen, and we have this. This is a screen that I don't like at all. I think this was a really badly done key rebinding screen. It was kind of difficult. It gets you to re-enter keys a few times. It doesn't always recognize your controllers. The default key bindings are a little bit weird, but I'm sure this is stuff they will all fix in early access, and I'm not really worried about it. I just think it's worth pointing out. If you have an odd setup, like I know a few people have odd keyboard setups, which might be a little bit more odd with this kind of game when you have to do a lot of rebinding. But yeah, just a fair warning, but it's not going to be a big issue. The game itself is fairly sparse in terms of what it has in it, but I think it's still worth having a look at. And if it's a game that you're interested in, maybe pick it up in a sale, maybe keep an eye on its development, and hopefully it'll turn into something good. This could be a really, really good kind of, almost a party game it could also be. If you could get more than one car in there, it could be great. Like, say you had 5 cars and one builder. You had the builders kind of creating puzzles for, like, creating a difficult track for all the people going through it. And it's like it's a kind of cooperative level building kind of thing. I think that could be a cool idea. Even maybe multiple builders trying to compete against each other, like one builder trying to help the cars, one builder not. I don't know. There's lots of places this could go, and I'm interested to see where it does. So, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.